Welcome to the first of Barb's builds. No, that's not right. Welcome to the first of Barb's builds. What is that, like an American Vegeta? Okay. Welcome to the first of Barb's builds. Okay, there we go. That's not bad. That's not bad. Before MHW shows up on PC, there's still a few fun things that I was able to do with Insect Glaive. When I played on PS4, the O-Dog tree was an immediate win because of the high affinity, and the dreams to build a 100% full-time critical without reliance on weakness exploit could be realized. Okay, well, almost. Weapon choice. I don't think I necessarily need to explain this too much, but if you can't choose more than one weapon to fit the build, it can be limiting to your playstyle, so I'm covering a few of the glaives I used on the way to MR100 and beyond. So here is Cruelty. When I was originally building this weapon, I wanted it to be an all-arounder. For those who are unfamiliar with augmenting, the first affinity augment upgrade will net you 10% of an increase in affinity, but subsequent affinity upgrades will only net you 5%. If I didn't care for the health regen augment on the weapon, I could run another 2 affinity augments for 10% more critical, for a grand total of 20. But then I would lose a defense increase proc for Divine Blessing, and the attack augment, and keep a pretty good affinity augment anyways. So how does this thing perform at 90%? Every hit, so long as it's hitting a weak point, will register a 100% critical, which activates the Teostra set's Teostra technique. The definition of a weak point, in case you don't know, is a hit zone value equal to or higher than 45. You can use a clutch claw to make some hit zone values high enough so that they become weak points, but generally we're talking like head, arms, stomach, in some cases legs, and that increases the threshold to score critical hits on those monsters, which actually have protection against being hit when not weakened. So I'll leave a link to this Google Doc in the description below. Prior to using this build, I was using Trickling Spiral with Elementless on it because it already has a really high base damage. But the problem with Trickling Spiral, even though it has a higher rarity than Cruelty, but it doesn't have a high enough base affinity to run with Teostra technique firing off on every hit. Even with 3 affinity augments and full weakness exploit, you're still 30% short of the dream. If you wanted to run a glaive like Nether Vejra, it has a base of 25, so you would actually only need 5% more, full critical eye, and then 3 levels of weakness exploit to get the same effect. But the reason why I went with Cruelty is because it just had that highest base affinity, and flat out you can stack 1 Elementless, 1 Tenderizer slot, which already comes on Teostra hands, max out affinity, and run an attack 4 charm, or whichever decorations you have. You can run Master's Charm, or if you have more attack decorations, whichever options you have available to you, you can make it work. But that about wraps up that concept. So, aside from that, I wanted to share one other type of build. So, as I was recording this, I was messing around with the build already, and I found a couple of other things that might be pretty interesting. You lose all the peak performance buffs from that previous build, but I mean, people could slot in Resentment if they wanted for that, and you'll be wearing a Bayo Beta coil. But wait, no, hear me out. No, hold on, it's not that bad, I promise. But you get this. So you've got your full critical eye, attack boost for 5% more critical, the weakness exploit, and now for the comfy stuff, full health boost, Divine Bless, which will benefit from Cruelty's defense augment, flinch-free level 3, and earplugs 2. Now, why earplugs 2, Barb? Why earplugs 2, Barb? Why earplugs 2, Barb? So I'm pretty sure it's common knowledge by now, but if you have level 3 flinch-free, you gain level 3 earplugs and tremor resistance from your Kinsect extract bonuses. You don't get level 3 unless you have all 3 buffs active at the same time, so if you ever had trouble with monster roars, or can't be bothered to roll through them, and prefer attacking non-stop, this might be your jam. So, I have neighbors, and every time someone uses the bathroom, I can hear everything. Like, when the water's running. Just the water. Not everything. Oh god, not everything. Anyway, so, I also added 2 power prolonger. If you have the jewel slots and the decorations, 3 might even be better to increase your extract effects from lasting 60 seconds to 90 seconds. So you could have the red, white, and orange extract effects active for a minute and a half. So that's also more uptime doing damage to the monster. That's less time that you're fishing for all 3 of those extract effects. And that allows you to hold on to your ammo longer, and you won't have to go looking for it. So, I mean, someone could tweak this very easily and get the same effect. When I would run Mushroom Man... Okay, they stopped? Oh, cool. Alright. So, like I was saying, I used to run a comfy combo of, like, flinch, earplugs, health, divine blessing, and then combo that with stun resistance. You can use, I think it's the Barioth feat. Oh no, Baroth. Baroth Greaves give you 2 stun resistance if you're willing to wear that on a foot slot. It's surprisingly good with the slots for what it is, and gives you a lot of flexibility. Or you can do Mushromancer and wide range, because we now have access to 5 levels of wide range. So you could play as a healer, or you could basically be invincible to stun. But there's so much flexibility now that it's making me really love Insect Glaive more than I even used to. It makes it so flexible. You can still be an agile striker, and you still have defensive outs to keep moving. So that's pretty much all I got for today. But if you want to see more Insect Glaive builds and Monster Hunter content, you can catch me on Twitch, or just subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to get a video out weekly while streaming almost daily, so stop by and say hi in the Twitch chat, or leave a comment here. Thanks. No. Thanks, guys. No. Thanks, guys.